and welcome to this YouTube video. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Vicky, and this video is all about alphabet mafia questions answered. So let's go. Your question for today is, are we born gay? Now, as always, I'm going to be linking every website that I've read down below in the description. And also we're trying a new little setup as well, so my mic isn't in the video, it's a little bit further down, so hopefully the audio is pretty decent. So without further ado, let's go. So I'm only going to be reading from maybe 2 websites that I found. And one of them is actually I have no idea how to pronounce the name. Is it Mayim Balak? She plays Amy in The Big Bang Theory. She has a podcast on YouTube, and she's kind of covered this topic a little bit, especially with sexual orientation. So I'll link that in whichever corner it is, so you can go check that out. She also has a website, and we're going to read from that website today. Let's find out, are we actually born gay, or is it a choice? Different minds for different kinds. Neurologic differences in sexuality. Human sexuality has varied from traditional heterosexuality for thousands of years. Greek and Roman history, art, literature are filled with descriptions. Same-sex relationships and anti-gay sentiments are a more recent social creation. Like, I was aware that, sexual orientation has been around for like thousands of years, so there's nothing new there. I'm aware of that, and hopefully you guys are too. Scientific consensus is that both gender identity and sexual orientation becomes defined during fetal and neonatal development. I probably pronounced that word wrong, but hey ho. This can be seen in both homosexual men and women show altered patterns of activation in their hypothalamus, a brain region responsible for many bodily functions, including reproduction drives. In addition, there is significant data showing differences in activation of the amygdala. I'll put it on the screen. I have no idea how to pronounce that, so a brain region involved in processing emotional information. Hypothalamus, I always remember that as hippopotamus when I was doing my BT course, but it is a region of the brain. So basically, from what I've gathered, is that it starts literally when we are in the womb. So we are born gay. It's just we develop and explore our sexualities as we get older. So it's literally not a choice. So we are essentially born gay. So that's pretty much answered that question. That's the video. Bye bye. Bye. The scientific community has come to a conclusion that sexual preference is significant biological correlates. Scientists argue that homosexuality is not a choice, but rather a natural variation in human biology. That pretty much answers the main big question. It has something to do with our brains, because every brain is wired differently. There's no one brain the exact same. And obviously your brain develops while you are in the womb. It's a certain part in your brain that I'm pretty sure is developed a little bit more and or slightly bigger in homosexuality or homosexuals. So that's what I've gathered from this. So our one little part of the brain is slightly bigger than someone who is straight. So essentially, we are born gay. It's not a choice, because who would choose to be subject to homophobia? Who would choose to be bullied at school because of their sexual orientation? Who would choose to go through that? Like, I'm pretty sure no straight person would want to go through that. So it's not a choice at all. Like, I don't think anyone would ever choose that. The next website that we're going to go on to, it basically explains a little bit more in detail. So I'm going to butcher quite a lot of the names in the brain, or the areas in the brain. So this will be fun. So sexual orientation and its basis in brain structure and function. So we're just going to go into a brief detail about this. There's a lot of words in here that I'm just like, I have no idea how to pronounce that shit. Current evidence indicates that sexual differentiation of the human brain occurs during fetal and neonatal development. and programs our gender identity, our feeling of being male or female, and our sexual orientation as hetero, homo, or bisexual. This sexual differentiation process is accompanied by many structural and functional brain differences among these groups. So that basically confirms that our brain structure and the way that we're kind of wired is different to someone who is straight. In previous studies, the Savick laboratory detected a sex-differentiated activation of the anterior hypothalamus in heterosexual men and heterosexual women, and a sex-atypical, almost reserved pattern of activity in homosexual men and homosexual women. You're probably wondering, what the hell is the hypothalamus? The thing that I used to call the hippopotamus in order to remember it. It is a part of your brain, so it is inside there somewhere. So it is a small brain area located under the anterior commissura that is involved in many different functions, including reproduction. These observations raised several questions, one of which was whether the sexual dimorphism described could be sex atypical in homosexual subjects, even with respect to factors not directly associated with reproduction. I'm not going to read that much on this because it does go into a lot of detail and it can get a little bit confusing. But essentially, I will put a picture of what the human hypothalamus actually looks like on the screen right now. So that's what it looks like, and that is structured completely different in someone who might identify as any other sexuality other than straight. We're basically wired differently, so no, like I said previously, there's no one brain that looks exactly the same. So yes, essentially we are born gay, we are born into our sexualities because our brain gets developed in the womb, and that's where it happens. It's just along the way as we grow up, we explore our sexualities because we think it's natural to do so, and it is natural to do so. To answer that question, are we born gay? The answer is yes, we are born gay. It's not a choice. Like I've mentioned previously, who would want to be bullied for their sexual orientation? Who would want to go through that shit? I don't think anyone would want to go through that. So I'll have about maybe 4 or 5 links down below to all the websites that are basically backing up exactly what I've just said. So yes, we are born gay. We are born with different sexualities. One of the websites basically explains where the word homosexuality came from, so that will be down below. The 2 websites that I've read from today will be linked down below as well. There'll be another article kind of backing up we are born gay. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and we've learned a little bit about if we are born gay or not. No, it's not a choice for anyone who thinks it may be a choice. So if you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to subscribe, feel free to subscribe for more videos like this. And if you've got any questions to do with Alphabet Mafia, please let me know and I will do some digging and we will answer them together and learn together. I'll see you in the next one.